PrEP is a drug that HIV-negative people take to prevent them from getting HIV. PrEP is as close to perfect protection that any medical intervention can actually really get. We know from a lot of studies, and if you look up the studies, you'll see the number 86% bandied around, but we kind of have to interrogate that a little bit more. It was 86% for everybody who took it, but that was including people who weren't taking it correctly. So if you actually take away the people who weren't taking it correctly, it's up and around 99+%. So it's as close to perfect protection you're going to get for preventing HIV. The side effect profile for PrEP is actually quite low. Some people experience side effects, and if they do, they're generally quite mild. And so we're talking about things like headache, nausea, dizziness, stuff like that. But generally, if someone does experience side effects, they pass within about 2 or 3 days, and then the rest of your PrEP experience, it goes without hitch. So PrEP is incredibly effective at stopping HIV, but STIs are still something that you can get even if you're on PrEP. So for a lot of people, PrEP is an extra level of protection in addition to condoms. It's an extra kind of safety net. But we have to be real about people not wearing condoms anyway. And so some people are taking PrEP so that they have that protection. It's really a personal choice, but STIs are still something that you need to consider, and so we know condoms are your best way to protect against them. So there's 2 ways that you can get PrEP. The first is that you can access a sexual health clinic and ask a doctor to assess you for PrEP and get a prescription that way. PrEP is now available, generic PrEP is now available in a large number of community pharmacies all across Ireland. It costs in around 85 to €100 per month, depending on which pharmacy you go to. And you can get, normally prescriptions are made out for 3 months, so you can get it month by month, or you can get 3 months in one go. You can also get PrEP online, and this is a little bit more tricky, but not impossible. The law in Ireland clearly states that the importation of prescription medication is illegal, but the burden of law actually lies with the supplier and not the purchaser. So many guys do go online to purchase PrEP. There's a number of trusted sites that we know that the PrEP that they are selling online is legitimate. 5016 Street have done comprehensive drug monitoring on these PrEP pills, and over the 3 or 4 years that they have been doing it, they've never once had a pill that hasn't been what it said it is. So a lot of people order it online, but because it is illegal to import, there are interventions with customs and the HPRA who look after the safety of drugs coming into Ireland. And so for some people, it can be intersected, and if it is, the drugs are taken off. One of the motivating factors for why people buy it online is because it's considerably more cheaper. You're talking about 3 times cheaper for the same amount for 3 months. So there's those two main ways. I guess the main thing is, no matter what way that you are purchasing PrEP, is that you link in with a sexual health clinic. You won't be, the doctors or the nurses in sexual health clinics aren't necessarily interested in where you're getting it. It's about making sure you're taking it right and you're getting the proper monitoring and care. So again, there's a couple of different ways. The 2 most prominent ways, and the ones that we have the most information and clinical studies around, is daily PrEP and event-based dose or on-demand PrEP. So with daily PrEP, it is what it says. You take 1 pill every day. It's quite forgiving as well, so you take a pill every day, but if you forget 1 or 2 within the week, you still have really good protection. With event-based dose, this is a little bit trickier to kind of get your head around. Again, it's about if you know that you're going to have sex, let's say the weekend is coming up and you know you're going to have sex on Friday night, you would take a double dose at least 2 hours, but between 2 and 24 hours before the sex. And then you would take a pill the day after and then another pill the day after that. So it's really, really important that you stick to exactly how that dosing regimen is, because it's completely unforgiving. So if you miss a dose, then you do leave yourself open. So it's really important that you understand how to take it. There's a lot more information about dosing available from your sexual health clinic, but also online and a number of different websites as well. So one of the great things about being on PrEP is that you are linked in to a sexual health clinic, and you should go to a sexual health clinic every 3 months. This is basically so we can ensure that you remain HIV negative. It's also so that we can test you and treat you for any STIs that you may have picked up in the last 3 months. And that is really important to stopping the onward transmission of STIs. And we can also do the kidney function tests and the other types of monitoring tests that we need to do to ensure that PrEP isn't having any adverse effect on your body. Depending on the dosing regimen, so if you're taking daily PrEP, it can be quite forgiving. So if you miss 1 or 2 doses in the week, you're still going to have really good protection. But with event-based dose or on-demand, you have to stick to the regimen exactly. It's also really important to note that daily PrEP is good for anybody who wants to protect themselves against HIV, but event-based dosing or on-demand PrEP is only good for anal sex. And we know that because the active ingredients in the drug get to the lining of the rectum really fast. Before the lining of the vagina, it takes a lot longer. So event-based dosing or on-demand is only good for anal sex.